I'm all over the place. So I'm glad you came out. I really appreciate it. And we will be back in Columbia. It may not be this year, but we will definitely be back.
I'm taking nothing away from Coach Muschamp, but they got a lot of work to do.
They do. You're absolutely right about that.
They got a lot of work to do, and taking nothing from him. But anyway,
a lot in common. For instance, Dickie B loves both of those guys still, and buys into everything they say.
Now listen carefully to what Feinbaum says about Rick Pitino and his sinister-looking Italian friends. This is the liberal Jewish guy on ESPN who thinks he's so above everything. Listen to this racism come out of his mouth.
About a week ago in New York, I was walking out of the studio, and he was walking in.
Was he trying to sell you on his innocence?
I decided, and I've always liked him, but I really was not in the mood to deal with him that day because he had like 4 guys that looked like they were in the Gambino family around him.
Oh, he's going to.
How's that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just said, considering here's the situation, Jeff. I've been fairly critical of Pitino, like every other reasonable and rational commentator in America. And with the 5 guys from the Gambino crime family, we were literally at our studio is on the East River. I just was afraid Rick might say, "Feed them to the fish." Oh. So I wasn't taking any chances. I had too much going on that day to die.
Good job. That's good. That's a good part of his strategy to intimidate the interviewers on his way in. But hey, last thing.
Now, I don't know if you find that funny. I don't know. But I got to tell you, that's flat out effing racism. Okay? To lump all Italians, especially a successful basketball coach like Rick Pitino, as being affiliated with Cosa Nostra. Imagine that. Hey, I was afraid to go to the bank the other day because I'm afraid of Jewish bankers. They take my money. How funny is that, Feinbaum? Would you say that about a black football coach? That you were afraid to go up and talk to him because he would mug you? No, you're above all that. You sit in judgment of Urban Meyer. I'm a Michigan man. I really don't like Urban Meyer. But I got to tell you something that none of you nutheads would bring up. That those accusations made by his wife, okay, all of a sudden, he gets $1 million contract to coach wide receivers, and she decides to come forward and make a stink about how he violated the court agreement, separation, and he can't go near her because he dropped his kids off in her driveway. You imagine that? Can you imagine that? Because, women don't sell their bodies for sex. And men aren't the people who pay for sex. Right? Let me say it again. Men buy sex. Women sell sex. So the motivation of that football coach at Ohio State, I'm trying to remember his name now, it couldn't have been for money, right? Because that guy didn't lay a hand on that woman in 3 years. And by the way, Feinbaum, how come you don't take issue with the police? Because you liberals, you never do. Only when they beat up a black hood, then you take issue. But you don't bring up the fact that these cops that run out on these college football fields escorting coaches, what kind of incest is that? What are they doing there? Columbus, Ohio doesn't have money for security guards? We got to have state troopers escorting football coaches. What kind of crap is that? That's not insidious? That's not incest? You expect that police department to go arrest one of those coaches when they're on the field during the game with every privilege? That's not patronage. That's incest. It's beyond patronage. No police officer should be allowed on the field in a patronizing way. But you see, privilege. It's all privilege. And then you expect the police to arrest Zach Smith or whatever his name was when he supposedly abuses his wife 37 times at the house, just like in Parkland. The cops go to this weirdo's house 38 times. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody goes to jail. But we're going to blame Donald Trump. We're going to blame Urban Meyer because he didn't play mommy nanny to Zach Smith, his assistant coach. Go to Las Vegas. I call this the female integrity deficit. Go to Paris, go to New York, go to any major city in the world, go where the money is. You will see repulsive, fat, bald men that are old and terrible looking, but they got lots of money, and on each arm are hanging little vixens that look like runway models. Now listen carefully. You will never find a good-looking, handsome, virile young stud walking arm in arm with some toothless old hag because she has money. I'm not talking about a gay escort. I'm talking about a heterosexual man, because men can't do that stuff, right? We can't fake it. You're either 12 o'clock high or you're 6:30. Think about what I just said. But you can't fake that, but women can. Ooh, you're so handsome. Ooh, you're so short. Ooh, you're so bald. Oh, you have such a big, fat, juicy wallet, right? So I'm supposed to just capitulate to this? As long as the football teams put pink on, I'm supposed to just sidle up to this liberal Jezebel psychobabble? Hey, do me a favor, Jezebels. Get the hell out of my football game. Get out. You didn't play. I don't want to hear your commentary. I really don't. Bad enough, we got feminine little broadcasters who never took a shot in the head, never played a sport in their life, never knew what it was like to get their bell rung. I don't want to hear your opinions. All right? I really don't. I want to know the experience through the eyes of someone who's edified in the game, any more than I'd expect somebody explaining rocket science to me would be a rocket scientist. I don't know, does that make sense? So this hypocrisy, this blatant in-your-face feminazi hypocrisy, and here he is, Mr. Know-It-All, Paul Feinbaum, who calls Rick Pitino a mafia hood, and his friends because they looked Italian. I want to hear someone bring Paul Feinbaum to task on this, because he certainly wouldn't make that type of a disparaging remark against a Jew, a stereotypical remark. He wouldn't dare say that about a black. I was afraid to go walk up 3rd Avenue and approach Willis Reed because, you know, he's a big black guy and I'm afraid he'd beat me up. No, he wouldn't say that. But, you know, and to all my liberal Italian friends, I've been saying it forever. You invite this. They make, a bunch of non-Italians make a movie about gangsters that are Italian, and you can't celebrate it enough. This is not hypocrisy, this is lunacy.